to night school where shadows creep. Grab your popcorn, don't fall asleep. The doors are open, let the nightmares play. You won't make it out today. Welcome to night school. The doors have reopened.
All right, everybody, welcome to Night School Horror. Yes, we are back, and we are here to discuss a movie where you want to hug your partner tight because you may eventually become one. My name is Tommy James, aka the Movie Guy Baby, aka your favorite movie therapist. And I am so excited to talk about this movie. It was one of my most anticipated movies of at least 2025. And I can get it off my chest and make you understand why I personally really, really like this movie. But I am not here all alone, ladies and gentlemen. I am not here all alone. And we're going to go all the way to my left, at least on my side. On my left, we have none other than Florida's favorite creep, Sabrina Ace. What's going on, girl?
What is up, Tommy? Oh my goodness. I am so happy to be here with you guys. Talking about Together specifically, most anticipated. And holy moly, do I have mixed feelings about it, but I'm going to tell you guys all about it. But Florida's favorite creep is happy to be here.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're happy to be here. And you did give me a quick heads up of how you felt about this movie. You rated it a certain way, and it made me want to throw my phone across the room. But we'll get there, and we'll discuss it, and you can explain it to everybody here, which then they could throw their phones across the room. Speaking of across the room, to my right is none other than the Grand Wizard of Horror, Big Money. Eddie, what's up, guy?
Hey, everybody. Big Bunny Eddie, the cigarette smoking man himself, coming to you, talking to you about some common sense and some deep facts about these movies. And I am excited to talk about Together. I'm excited that we're together to talk about Together.
Very
Because
nice.
at the end of the day, that that's what matters, right? Just be together. Not in the way this movie is. I love you guys, but not that much. But I will say that I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. I have one slight complaint against this movie, and I think it's a fair criticism, but overall, I really enjoyed this movie. So I'm excited to talk about it and see where we get together in our praise and when we diverge in our criticisms of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, right off the bat, before we really dive into the movie and get into the specifics of it, I'm gonna start with you, Big Money. Actually, how did you feel when like you heard the movie was announced, seen the trailer? Like, what was your anticipation for this movie?
Well, for the audience at home that remember, when we're doing the hype train, yeah, it's gonna abort the.
Let's go to Peter.
When we were doing the hype train, I actually picked this movie.
You did.
Yeah, I actually picked this movie. I was really excited about this movie. One of the things that was mentioned, it was that it was Cronenberg-esque,
Yes.
and we'll talk about that part in particular, but later on, because that's my actual gripe with the movie. But I actually, when I saw it, that's when I found out that Dave Franco and Alison Brie are married. I didn't know that at that point. And it put Alison Brie down a little bit for me because I am a huge fan of Alison Brie for multiple reasons.
Mhm.
Just like many of you ladies might be a fan of Henry Cavill for multiple reasons.
Mhm.
So just saying. But I was very excited for the film. I saw the film. I think they should move away from trying to build it up as a Cronenberg homage film and leave it as its own like high horror type of intellectual horror. This new era of like I would call this like the new like if there's the golden age of horror, we have this like the platinum age of horror, right? And it's like we've just been getting banger after banger after banger after banger
Mhm.
that are phenomenal, thoughtful horror movies, more so than almost any other genre film right now. So, again, there was a lot of hype for this movie. I think the film lived up to most of the hype, except some of that body horror stuff that we can get into later.
Yes. You know what's crazy? I actually kind of agree with you with that sense of that like Cronenberg vibe of what they. It's almost kind of like a false advertisement kind of thing where they're putting it out there saying, "Hey, this is what you're gonna see," and then you go, "But I didn't see that." Maybe other people's mindsets are different when it comes to what they advertised. And for us, maybe that, like I said, I agree on that sense. I also felt the same way. I do. Let me put it out there. I do like this movie, and I did have high anticipation for it because when I heard it was Dave Franco and it was Alison Brie, who I also love Alison Brie, especially from Community. I think she was fantastic in that. And I do like Dave Franco too. I actually think between the Franco brothers, you know, James was hitting his stride, and unfortunately, he decided to do stupid shit. I feel like Dave Franco could really do something and proved it in this movie because he did really well, and he still uses that comedy side that he has. So together, again, I'm the same. I did not know they were married. Which when I found that out, I was like, really? Like he bagged that? Like,
I'm pretty sure that's when you messaged our group and was like, "Did you know they're married in real life?"
yeah, I
And
didn't
all of
know.
us collectively said,
Like,
"Excuse
what?
you?
Like, I'm sorry.
What?"
What's happening? Like, that's not fair. Like, no, wasn't okay with that. But hey,
The only other,
good for
I'm
him.
sorry, the only other time that happened to me was when I found out Christina Hendricks's husband. When I saw her husband, I went like, no fucking way. And it's not a famous person. It's just that it's the ugliest man I've ever seen. Bagged Christina Hendricks. Fuck. Okay,
Dude,
I
it's
just need
it's insane how
You know what they
people
say
could
about
do it.
funny guys? If you can make a girl laugh, she squints her eyes enough. I mean, she can't even see what you look like. She's laughing too hard.
That's very good, actually. I like that. But
Make
no,
'em
it's
laugh,
true.
fellas.
But it's true. It's true. Like some of these people, you see them together, and look, Megan Fox with Machine Gun Kelly. Like, whoa, I'm sorry. What do you see here, ma'am? I don't get it. But hey, whatever. Um, do what you got to
Pretty
do.
original.
They're all fucking weirdos in the long run. But yeah, again, when it back to together, again, a highly anticipated movie. And I enjoyed it, but there are a couple of things as well that I'm like, well, I wanted more. But as you mentioned, like this platinum way of horror nowadays, this new era, it's very artistic. Everything is about like what we're gonna show. A24 is the perfect example of that. A24 is what I always call it, art horror.
Yep.
Midsummer, Hereditary, Talk to Me. There's always this certain thing behind it, and it's usually trauma. And it's like we're gonna show this to you in a certain and it's different lens than you would see a normal horror movie. Um, and some are good, and some fall flat for me. Sabrina, what about you? What was your feeling and anticipation for this movie together with Alison Brie, who's married, by the way, to Dave Franco?
I'm on the same page as you guys that I did not know they were married until I saw the description for this movie, and I was like, "Hold up, let me process this." But I really anticipated this movie. I remember turning to friends and after seeing the trailer just being like, "You know what? This is gonna be awesome. This is gonna be some freaky body horror stuff." And this is like after we got The Substance. So I was
Yes.
like, "Oh, I love The Substance. So this is gonna be great too." The whole body horror aspect. I mean, we did the Ugly Stepsister movie with more body horror, and I'm like, this is our time to get into the body horror. And I was anticipating this movie based on what I've seen and based on uh just it's kind of like a drama as well. So you've got
Yes.
that relationship aspect that they're butting heads anyway, but just really seeing the trailer where it's like, oh, they are the whole Cronenberg thing. It's like, okay, I'm anticipating this to be awesome. I'm anticipating this to be the horror movie of the summer, like this is supposed to be the big one. And I have to agree with you guys where the advertising for it gave me a certain expectation.
Mhm.
And when I finally saw it, it did not meet that expectation. And I think that's why I have so many issues with this movie, is because I hate when advertisements do this thing where they compare it to another movie or they compare it to another thing instead of
Mhm.
being like, this is its thing and this is what it is. They go, this is some critic even called it like, oh, this is this year's The Substance. And I'm like, don't fucking do that. Don't do that. Because now you're
Sure.
setting an unrealistic expectation for what we know of a movie that's already out versus something we have no idea what it is going in other than what you've told us. And to do that for advertisement it's kind of like saying, hey, we got this bounce house and you could have it for $2. And you're like, great, I fucking want it. And then it's like the size for ants. It's like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? You advertised the right thing, but it's not the thing that you told me it was, or it's not the thing that you
Yeah.
told me it would be.
Yes.
It's like somebody's profile picture not matching their face. It's like, well, you're sort of there, but you definitely used a butt ton of filters, and now you don't look like you.
Yes, it's
I
very
felt about
catfish-like.
this movie. Yeah, this movie catfished me.
This movie catfished you.
Yeah.
Well, that's not nice.
It's not.
The movie
I
should
was-
not catfish us.
I was a little upset. And don't get me wrong, the high points of this movie were so high. I enjoyed those.
Mhm.
But the low points for me were so low that my mixed emotions on this movie are driving me nuts.
Damn.
I'll
That,
probably have to give it another watch just to finally sort them out. But I
Sure.
remember walking out of that theater, friends in tow, going, I don't know if I could talk about this right now because I don't really know what to say about it.
Mhm. I get that. I totally understand that feeling of it, and I agree with you. I agree that trailers and posters and critics are comparing a lot of these new movies to these classics or The Substance, for example, where it's like this is this year's new Substance, and I see what they're saying. You know what I mean? Like I get what you're trying to say, but it's not. It's
Right.
it's similar in a sense of, body horror because
It's in the same
that's-
genre without it being
It,
the
it,
same
it is body
thing.
horror.
it's body
Yeah.
horror.
It's the same genre without being the same thing.
Correct.
There are many different flavors of ice cream.
There
They're
is.
all ice cream.
As we know,
They're
there's actually
never the
31.
same- Yeah, but there's never the same flavor. So you can't call it the same flavor
No, you can't.
if it's just in the same freezer. You know?
Wow. That's a
That's a t-shirt.
I feel like it belongs on a throw pillow somewhere.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good
Someone
throw
make the
pillow.
point.
I like that. That's a good throw pillow. But yeah, no, I mean, every movie nowadays, it's doing bad. And I actually recently said it too when it comes to the movie Weapons. The way people are talking about it and what it's doing is this whole concept of anticipation. If I'm excited for a movie and then they come out and they go, this is like Stephen King's best movie ever. The best novel Stephen King ever wrote, and they made it into a great movie. It's on top of Shawshank Redemption. I'm going to go into this movie now thinking, wow, this movie's going to be amazing. I don't like that. I want to go in there and go and enjoy it. And if I'm hyped for it, let me stay hyped. Don't give me any hints at something. Don't make me feel, because the worst thing that can happen is if I'm hyped and someone's like, it's terrible. And you're like, no. Like make me go into the movies feeling my own way. I get why they do it. They want to put butts in the seats. They want people to go and see it. So of course they're going to try to drag you in that way. But when I went to see, for example, the G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra movie with Marlon Wayans and fucking Channing Tatum, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who was fucking,
Commander Cobra.
Commander Cobra. Um, people shit on that movie. I really liked it. I had fun in the movie. I was like, I had a great fucking time. I thought everybody was great. I don't think it's the greatest fucking action movie alive, but that shit was fun. And I think it's better than the second one. So they can kiss my ass. I had a great time with that movie. But
I feel like to add to what you were saying
Mhm.
exactly, I feel like with advertisements, it's okay to hype up the movie, but don't compare it to another movie. You know, like it's unfair to do that. So you could be like, "Hey, this is the greatest movie since this," and it's like, "All right, it's an opinion based." It's okay to have opinions and it's okay to spread those opinions, but I think it's super unfair for them to compare it to other movies because it's like you should that's like almost saying, "Hey, you look like that guy I know." It's like just don't.
Mhm.
Just
If
don't.
if they
Look different.
if the advertisement would say, director, I'm blanking on his name right now, but did his own twist on body horror, a unique twist to the body horror genre, that explores the intimacies of relationships and the complexities of relationships. I'm hyped up, and this movie would have lived up to that hype.
Sure.
Yeah,
Because
Michael
you're saying
Shanks.
you're Michael Shanks.
Yes.
You still would get me hyped up because you're saying a unique spin on the body horror, and it's not a lie.
Yeah.
You're giving props to the movie for what it's doing
Mhm.
properly, which I agree. It's doing something completely different because usually body horror tends to fall more into the sci-fi horror category
Very true.
usually, but this time it's falling more into the fantasy horror, Lovecraftian sort of side of thing. Not really space horror, but like Lovecraftian and the mystery horror fantasy of like, well, we don't understand these external forces that are working in our world. That's interesting. That's unique.
Yeah.
You can do all of that. You're singing praises of the movie, but at the same time, you're not overstating your point.
Sure.
Yeah. If you came up with a tagline and said, "This is body horror that blurs the lines of boundaries," I'd just be like, "Ooh, that sounds enticing," without giving too much away, without telling me that it belongs somewhere else, that it's this year's whatever. It's like just tell me what it is. Just give me the movie, hype it up for what it is. That's it. That's all you need.
Sure. I can completely understand that and absolutely get it. And I'm on board with that one. So okay, we're not going to go scene by scene. We're not going to really dive into that. Like we don't do that anyway on here on Night School Horror. We don't do scene by scene, but we're like I said, we're going to talk about this movie. So all right, we expressed our anticipation for it. Now I'm gonna start hot right now, and Big Money. I'm gonna start with you on this one again. What was your final thoughts? Now, usually we wait to the end for this. So you had your anticipation. This is how you felt. You had it on the hype train and whatnot. You seen the movie. Did it live up to that train? Did it live up to the hype? And how do you feel now seeing that movie?
So once I saw the movie, the first reaction that I had was disappointment because I thought I was going to see a Cronenberg movie, and I ended up seeing something completely different, something more akin to the the art house horror movies that you've been talking about, like from A24, which is not a bad thing necessarily. Some people say I hate those. I get why some people would hate them. Sometimes they're too pretentious. And I do think that this movie is pretentious, not in a bad way. It does know what it's trying to say. It does know the metaphors it's trying to use. So all of that said, so it's a when once I let the disappointment sit for a bit, and then I went like, but was it a good movie outside of my expectation? That's another important thing, right?
True.
Um, because living up to your expectations, okay, maybe it didn't live up to your expectations, but was it a good movie in its own rules in its own genre? I would say it's a great movie within its genre. Um, it's it presents a decent world. The I have issues with some of the mythology that we can get into later,
Mhm.
particularly, bec we'll talk about it later. Just remind me to touch on the mythology part, because 'cause I'll explain what's my issue. It's a small detail, um, but aside from that, it does layer everything perfectly, but what I love most about this movie is that it's character driven,
Yes.
and by making it character driven, and none of them are perfect. They both have issues, and they're both really likable too.
Yes.
They're super important. I think the film did its job in presenting the metaphor of marriage, the metaphor of romance, and the toxicity of relationships and all that in a body horror way, which is the point of the whole movie. And I think it succeeded in doing that.
Yes. Yes, I agree to that. I think it did succeed in what the message was, what they were trying to portray on the screen, how they portrayed it too. The metaphor section of it just I think it worked. I think it did. I think they and Franco and Brie both did phenomenal. They understood the assignment. They showed the fear. They showed the confusion. But then at the end, they show the acceptance. Like it really makes you like you can feel for the. You said they're likable characters. There's both of them. You can't dislike them. There's no point. You kind of get his side of things. You get her side of things, and then like towards the end, you're like, it's kind of sweet.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. It's a shitty situation, but
It's sweet, sexy, and grotesque at the same time, if
yeah,
I'm being
right?
really honest, because it was kind of sexy. Like,
Yeah.
it's like she's taking, the clothes off, they're getting all, and you're
It was
going like,
very intimate.
Hmm.
"Yeah," and then all of a sudden
Extremely.
extremely, it was nipple to nipple.
And
It
indecent
was.
even.
I mean, Jesus Christ, what a incredible moment in the movie.
One final praise I'm gonna give
Mhm,
for the script for this movie, and I mentioned it, but I'm gonna be very specific. This movie could have been, "She's awesome, he's awful, and he's a dick,"
mhm,
and it could have just been that, because the characters are written in such a way that you could just do that trope, and I would have hated that movie, because
yes,
I'm saying, like, you're not portraying a real relationship. Relationships are complex. This is There's no good guy or bad guy in a relationship most of the time. Sometimes there are, but
sure,
most of the time, there's just good people that have some shitty character traits that they gotta work on so their marriage and relationship can thrive, and
Mhm.
this movie did it beautifully.
yeah, absolutely. Sabrina, what about you? I know you got some things to say, so you seen the movie? Let's hear it. What was your feelings?
After seeing the movie, I felt pretty disappointed. I mean, to your guys's points, which I agree with wholeheartedly, the acting is what made me give it like part of the rating that I did, as high as I did. Um, Brie and Franco do a phenomenal job, and I feel like, as well as character driven, and to Eddie's point of you feel for the characters, I also feel like somebody can relate to both characters because in a relationship, at some point, you feel like either or of those characters, and you do see that interaction with each other where you can tell that they care, and they kinda take little jabs at each other, but it's kind of like they don't know how to process those emotions in the relationship, so they're just kinda taking it out on each other, but they also still have that element of care. Um, it's the point that, like, she's trying to not hold him back from anything, but also his career choice isn't going anywhere, and it does feel very personal on both sides. So, in at any point during that movie, you're like, "Oh, I see her point," or, "Oh, I see his point." You're never really on one character's side specifically, which I enjoyed. It's really refreshing to be able to care about both characters instead of going, "God, I wish he would just leave," or, "God, I wish she would just die." It's like, you want both characters to do well. You want both characters to have that happy ending,
Mhm.
and I feel like the ending is what really ruined it for me in some sense. Not the ending where they're intimate, but I feel like the entire story was great until the point they brought in cult stuff.
Mhm.
I feel like the message got a little lost because it was cult stuff. Like, I wanna see this crazy shit happen to these people. I don't like, the story itself with the, supernatural element to it of, like, we don't know what this stuff is enough of a story that drives it for me that I'm like, "Yeah, I'm already invested." The minute you put cult stuff in, I'm like, "Why does that matter?" And I feel like it was a real shoo-in where it was he jokes about it early on in the movie. He's like, "Oh, yeah, it was pretty culty," and it's like, "Really?" That feels like a cheap shot, in my opinion. I've seen cult movies done really well. I've seen them done really terribly, and I
Mhm.
feel like this is one that just didn't need to be. Um, but I love the ending where it's just them. It's not, "Hey, now you're part of this cult." It's just, you're there, you're together, and this is it. But I do feel like there was no resolution for Tim. I feel like instead of Tim learning a lesson about himself, he just gives up in some sense. I wish I would have seen more from his character where it's like he comes to the realization of like, hey, this isn't really what I'm meant to do. It just, I feel like there could have been a little bit of something there at the end because I feel like she took so much time to be like, well, this is what I'm doing. And like, I'm willing to give this up. And you feel the emotion for him of like, he's really passionate about this thing, but now he doesn't pursue any of his passion. He just says, well, guess it's over. It's like he almost gives in to her, and I hate that part. I hate it so much because I spent this entire movie caring about both characters, and I feel like he loses himself at the end.
That's interesting because I actually see it from a different lens. I don't think that's the case. But again, this is your vision. This is what you see through your lens. I feel that in the beginning, he's questioning everything. He's questioning this relationship and how far it could go. Where, when they're moving and he doesn't want to move. I don't blame him. They're moving to Long Island, but I understand like it's the musician mindset of being like, I want to still because her brother and I guess the friend, they're signed to a label. He's trying to do this indie thing. It's not really working. He sees that they're succeeding. He's like, yeah, you know what? I'll get back in it. I'll do this. But he's doing this in the long run for her. And that's why that one scene that there's a scene that's very important is when she gets on her knee and proposes with no ring in the hand, where he responds like, I gotta give Dave Franco credit because it's how he responds that's great. It's just like a pause and then just, "Are you serious?" Like, he's literally like, why are you doing this to me right now?" Like, I don't know what I wanna do, and when they're in the bed and she mentions like, "Do you wanna be with me? Like, do you really wanna be?" So you have that moment of like, he's not really sure. When they fall into the pit, "Oh, my phone," and then she goes, "I'm fine, by the way, thanks."
His demos,
The
they were
right, the
on there.
demos were on the phone, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, what about me? I'm fine." So he really doesn't know if this is what he wants, if this is where he wants to be, especially like married and whatnot to her. Because in the long run, she's trying to give them a better life, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel based on the way that characters are being portrayed and how they're acting, is she's making a decision, he's just going with it because he loves her. But now he's starting to question it. Now he's starting to really understand maybe this isn't the route I want to take. And that's why at the end, when he in the long run, he saved her life. He legitimately sacrifices himself so that she's able to live. And that's when he goes on the knee and then he does that. So I think that's more of acceptance of like, you know what? I'm happy where I'm at. There's no way that they weren't escaping this. That's the other thing that I actually truly like about this movie. There's no escape. There's no cure. It is what it is. You either accept it or you end up like when they actually show the monster, which actually look like from the substance. That's what happens when you just can't accept it. So I feel like he does actually have that character development where he now accepts, he's like, I do love you. I want to be with you. And because we are in this situation together, we're going to ride this out literally together. Hey, the name of the movie, and roll the credits, and like he takes it, and they literally just form one. Which again, mad funny when she. I guess I'm gonna go with it's still Alison Brie at that point when she opens the door and they're like combined.
Yeah.
Can we
it's
also just
great.
appreciate that Spice Girls went to
You all very funny,
the
very funny.
entire
I
like
I
the
I
minute I
hated
heard
that,
Spice
but
Girls, it's so funny.
It was funny though.
It was so
it's
funny,
funny.
dude.
It's funny. It's funny. It's
I
just
wasn't
that I
like,
hated
oh,
it.
perfect song choice. I'm just like, holy shit, you
It's
didn't. Thanks.
I
You did that
I
for
I
us.
and I understand once that happened, I
Mhm.
understand why he never succeeded as a musician.
Mhm.
Because that was
If
the
that's your
choice.
perfect choice for
Well, he
that
also did
moment,
that for her.
He did it for her.
He did for her.
I know. Still,
It's her favorite.
That's her yes, that's her favorite. And again, that right there, it's that whole point of acceptance where it's just like, listen, we nothing's changing here. Eventually we're gonna fall asleep and wake up looking like a fucking, the toxic Avenger. Like it's not gonna work out well for us. So it's either we have to accept our fate, or the other side was that she was gonna end up like, accept her fate, which was death, and he saved her. He sacrificed his, I'm not gonna say career, because he did try to go get on the train. It didn't work out well for him. Um, you know,
But we'll get back to that.
which part? The
The connection part?
oh, the far when they're far apart and shit gets
Yes.
weird?
Yes.
I didn't really understand that part, to be
I
honest
can
with you.
understand it's like he explained it like a magnet, and I get that. My issue with it was we see while she's in the car driving around and how it affects him, we never see it affect her.
He drank the
so
water.
Right, but it's the
yes,
fact of
but
I would have liked to see
here's
him get on the train and it
but
affected her.
here's the metaphor, 'cause it's a metaphor. It's he is clinging on to her. He's the clingy one. He doesn't understand that, but he's depending on her on for everything. And that he doesn't realize it because
Mhm.
he's so focused on career and things like his not going anywhere career.
Yes.
She has the priorities in check in the sense of she knows what she wants career wise, but she also gives him the proper place. But the issue is he's clinging to her and he doesn't realize it
Yeah.
until later on when he's telling her that I can't live without you. Like when he confesses his love to her, that's where that whole thing shows up. So when it's happening to the car in the car that she's driving and he's going there, it doesn't happen to her. It's because he's the one who's clinging, and is not clinging because she had the proper approach to the relationship. He was having more of a toxic approach to the relationship. Now both of them didn't realize it,
Mhm.
and she had other issues related to you know being too controlling sometimes or other things like that, but that wouldn't reflect if you notice even when they merge, she ends up being the dominant one.
Yes.
Which I think that's one of the things that I took a little issue with, and I was like, "Oh, they could have done that better." I feel like he has no stake in it at that point because we see how terrible his life is and going, "Well, if she's successful, why doesn't he just go with her anyway?" And that's where I think it came in where I was like, he's losing his sense of self because it's like, "Oh, just conform because, she's obviously got it all figured out and you don't." But it's the fact of like, if there was some stake for him of like, "Oh, well, whoever's dominant in that relationship, has the dominant appearance." I was questioning afterwards, going, okay, so what if the stake was one person basically gets to, like, you merge, but the outer shell looks like the dominant person completely. So
Uh,
you get to maintain your life where the other one seems to be erased from existence. So there's still some of that stake of him trying to fight for his shitty life, versus just being like, well, it's shitty, I'm not going to get anywhere towards the end. You
I
know?
see what you.
Yes. Well, didn't they say that the merge, like, what's his face, the principal, whatever he was, explains it how it's like you're together. Well, I keep using the term together, but like you are one. Like you can feel the other person.
Yeah.
So here's my issue. So now I'm gonna get into my issue with
Go.
the whole mythos.
Yeah, go for it.
So when it comes to the androgyny part, so the androgynous that's actual real Greek mythology.
Mhm.
But here's the issue: it has to be a man or a woman because what they're doing in the myth is they're explaining why a pee needs to go into a hoo ha.
Yes.
That's basically the explanation. Like for the Greeks, they're going like, why do we connect in that way? Oh, because we used to be united, but we were so powerful that the gods in their envy separated us. That's so. Here's where it gets interesting. This cult managed to find a way to reunify people. That means that technically speaking, those androgynous people, and this is not related to like LBG or anything like that. This is legitimately the myth. Like if they were reunited, half man, half woman, they become a full human being, technically, according to the myth. They should be superhumans. They should be like Captain America's roaming around
Yeah.
because they achieve higher wisdom, higher strength, higher power because the gods feared them. But that can't happen if it's two men because
Yeah.
you're missing the other half. Um, so my issue is like I get it because you're trying to be diverse in your relationship affirmation, which is okay. It's
Mhm.
just that it doesn't work in the androgynous scenario because it's literally the point. The point is, so I think that the old principal there got screwed up, and they said, "Can we merge and become one?" And they said, "Sure." And he ended up in a Piccolo scenario where he just has people in his brain but he doesn't have any of the superpowers of an androgynous person. So I just had to come up with that. That's why he ended up a teacher. That's why
Oh
you
my
don't
God.
see any. That's why you don't see any of the other merged people in the town because I'm assuming that they became like super successful because now they have that superpower.
Right,
So now they're
right.
roaming the world doing a bunch of amazing shit. But
And he's a
he
principal.
Yeah.
he's a principal. He didn't achieve that power. We go,
It
well,
was
why didn't it
successful
work?
without being successful.
That's why you
Like,
needed
hey
to
guys,
find
we
other
tried this
people.
out.
You had to
Yeah,
find other
we tried
people and
this
shit.
out. We made it work, and now you're just
We took the PP and touched the PP, and
you're
then we
two
became
halves of a
one.
whole guy.
You're just a super guy. You're not a superhuman.
That's a super
You're just a
dude. Yeah,
guy
he's a
who's
super
a little
dude.
smarter than an average dude, and that's why you're a principal. I'm a
Oh my
dude that
God.
merged with another dude.
Yeah. He's a dude that merged with
And we're
another
portraying
dude
another dude.
and became a dude. Like, okay, that's a lot of
So
dudes right there.
Dude to the second
yeah,
power.
so that's why so because the myth tries to explain how sex works, why is sex the way it is, right?
Yeah.
And it also explains, and this is what the magnet and everything. Soulmates, what people don't understand is soulmates don't show up like even though we're like a Judeo-Christian society, Western civilization, soulmates are not from like the Abrahamic religions. Soulmates are from the androgynous myth, where you are
Interesting.
looking for your other half, the other half that completes you. That's why you're being drawn to them. That's why you're looking for them. You're attracted, magnetized to them. That's basically the explanation. Uh, which is what they work with mostly well. I just have issues with the androgynous part with the gay couple because I go like, "That's not an androgynous human being.
That's not how that works.
That's not how that works." But other than that, I think it works in that they were soulmates. That's the thing. They were. And, they have their toxic issues, but in that relationship, there is a dominant person, but there's that other person complements, and that complementation creates that whole new super person, right?
Mhm.
That was
So,
the whole point of the conversation that they had in the kitchen of like, hey, you know,
mhm.
I think you complement each other. Like when they're arguing and they're just like, you know, this might seem weird. And he's like, no, I think it's because you guys complement each other. And like, I really took that theme and I was like, oh, that's perfect for this movie, which is why I think it fucked up at the end when they mentioned the whole cult thing.
I think if I'm being honest, I think you hit a stride on the cult thing. Well, and I think if they left it ambiguous and but they left the temple images there,
Mhm.
that would have been enough.
Yeah.
You didn't need the guy saying whatever it is, because
Hmm.
honestly, if there's a cult that's creating superhumans, they should have taken over the world at this
Sure.
Yes. Like, how do you let your whole church get destroyed by, you know, this entity when you're working for the entity and it's supposed to be this
Right.
whole thing? It's like to
And
do that, you're
you
creating a
become
bigger side story than I need in this movie. I don't
and
need it.
you become a superhuman. Like
Yeah,
literally,
Hmm.
like you are undefeatable. Like
right.
if we're assuming the Greek myths are real, right? Because
Mhm.
that's what the movie's assuming. Greek myths are real. So that means that the gods separated humans. That means that Greek gods exist somewhere, somehow. And and that these superhumans, once they merge, can overcome the gods.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Where are they?
Yeah. We're the gods and we're those
Well,
superhumans.
they all got swallowed by the entity.
No, see what happened
Cult
was they all, like you said, they went on and had successful careers while he became a principal. And the gods are laughing right now.
They're like, haha, you did it wrong.
You did
Because he went. Because
it.
he
You did
went.
it wrong.
'Cause he went like, "I love my boyfriend. Can we merge?" And they were like, "Sure."
And they're like, yeah, let's see what happens. And then they're like, yeah,
You see him just go, why the fuck not?
dude times two, you got it.
Honestly, the times have changed. Absolutely. Let's see if it works. Didn't work that well. Yeah, guess you're going to
They
be the
go like,
principal.
Yeah.
Let's measure his IQ." Oh, he got spotted.
He got smarter. His
Yeah.
dick gets smarter.
One dude plus another dude equals principal.
Oh my
Smart,
God.
you're good.
That's
All fine.
that is that's hilarious. I will say though, the temple gave me I was waiting for Vecna to appear because I
Yeah.
Same,
it
yeah.
just I'm like, is
All the
this
vines.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
looking and watching. I'm like, this is Stranger Things? Like, what is this upside down? Very weird.
You're waiting for, you know, Vecna to come out.
Vecna to come out, yeah.
X.
And just be like, oh, there's the clock again. Fuck. And somebody play some
Yeah, but
Kate
this
Bush.
one is
I'm
a bell.
fucked.
This one's a bell.
Yes,
You'll
that
hear,
is.
you'll
Yes.
hear the bell ring.
You'll hear the bell
Clock.
rings and then Kate Bush plays in the background. Get me out of here. Like, no, I don't know if that's going to work out well
This
for
one's
me.
not Kate Bush, it's Spice.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that would make sense. We'll switch out and instead of Kate Bush, we will use the Spice Girls. Not
I
even the
put
best song by the Spice Girls, but you know what? Alison Brie loves that song, and that's what truly matters.
Makes for
Okay.
great horror comedy.
Yes,
Like
it
a horror thriller.
honestly, the movie is funny. There are plenty of moments that is very funny. But the one thing we must touch on, we have to talk about this because as we mentioned before, like advertising and what they were promoting about this movie was gore, body
Yeah,
horror.
can we absolutely talk about this body horror?
We got to. We got to talk about it.
My
Sabrina, we'll
God.
start with you actually on that part. Body horror. They were telling you this might be gruesome substance level shit where we saw backs opening and new people coming out of it. What did you think of the body horror?
I just want to say, Michael Shanks, how fucking dare you? How dare you? Body horror, and I got minimal gore. Okay? Minimal. Like base level. Okay? There was blood. Okay? There was enough blood to be, yeah, something happened. But I have a conflict with this specifically because, and you guys know what I'm talking about, the smash cut when they're connected by the arm. I thought that was going to be this, like, you see the skin tearing with the
Like Evil Dead.
yeah, like very
Yes.
Evil Dead, very like ash, just like the actual gore. I was waiting for it, and it does this thing where it smash cuts, and I thought it was a really, really funny smash cut of them just eating out of Tupperware and offering it to each other to still show like, hey,
Far away
this
from
shit
each
happened,
other.
but also like, do you want some I still care about?
I love you. Would you
But
like
the
some?
fact of like I was waiting for the gore and I didn't get it. I didn't
No.
get it, man. Even when they're merging and you see the two bodies conjoining and merging, there's not really like I was waiting for like bones snapping. I was waiting for like skin tearing, like disgusting level gore from body horror. And I got none of that. I got like, oh, here's a band-aid. Here's your wrapped arm. We don't even get to see the wound. Like, oh, you see a little bit of scarring from where their legs were stuck together in the beginning. I'm like, is that it? Are you kidding me? Michael Shanks, how dare you? When you
There
say
are
body horror, you better deliver.
there are 3 moments that I think I thought were gonna lead somewhere,
Yeah.
and or not let me restate it. There are 3 moments that I think worked, and they if they continued building on that, it would have been great, and there are 3 moments that you think are gonna be leading somewhere, and they don't. Like, 3 great moments. When their legs join for the first time in the pool,
Yes.
I went like, "It's a good teaser, it's a good nibble," and you go like, "Oh, it's disgusting, but it's not gory yet," 'cause I thought slow burn.
Just a
There
taste.
there it's just and it's good. It's good because it is creepy, it is you go like you feel it. You go
Mhm.
like, "Ooh, ooh, ooh," and then, uh, when he cuts, the principal, our super smart principal,
Mm-hmm.
cuts with his ring,
Oh, hell
her
yeah.
wrist, I went like, "Okay, now we're getting
We're
into
getting somewhere.
finally, we're getting somewhere." And when they're he's in the cave and you see the Toxic Avenger mixed with a Full Metal Alchemist creature, uh,
The homunculus.
the homunculus, and then you go like, "Oh, now we're getting there."
Mhm.
Yes, because it's creepy, it's visceral. You see the after effect, and you're going like, "Can't wait till they join because this is gonna be so disgusting."
Right?
And then nothing happens. Fucking nothing happens. And I'm gonna be very honest, their scene of joining, like, at the beginning, it's amazing. I think, like I said, it's kinda sexy, it's kinda grotesque when they're starting to get into the eyes. You go like, "Here we go." And it's kinda sexy, it's kinda sweet, and then it turns weird and not in a good way weird.
It's too clean.
It's too clean and it's too CGI.
Yes.
Yes.
That took me out. That's why when my first reaction when I saw the movie, I went like, "Oh, I think I didn't like this movie." But I let that simmer, and then I let it die out, and then I thought about the movie, and that's why I liked it, but my initial reaction was, I'm a little bit disappointed."
Yeah.
And not a little, I was a lot disappointed with that. If you're saying body horror, and you're saying Cronenberg's a big name to say when you're saying body horror. It's a
Yeah.
huge name
Mm-hmm.
when you're saying body horror. Like, take any movie you want from Cronenberg, and it's 1,000 times worse than this movie. And that was made years ago.
Yes.
It's disgusting and dirty. This is what I mean by like
And
this
beautiful.
movie's too clean. This was a clean, like kind of cute, exactly as you said, like sexy, beautiful. I'm
Art.
looking for that in body horror.
It was
I'm looking for
art.
disgusting beauty where I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh, like ribs cracking to fit another person inside you type deal. We saw ribs moving. For the
Yes,
most
we
part.
did.
I didn't hear bones breaking. Like, you're literally two masses joining together. There's gonna be some breaking. There's gonna be some movement. Like, if she's shorter than him and they join, she's gonna be a little bit taller, right? Give me that spine, like, literally cracking and ripping to extend a little bit. Something.
Show them in pain. I think that's what we're
It shouldn't be a beautiful molding of
but
dead
that's what
body.
it
Like,
was. It was
give
art.
me, yeah, it was very artsy.
Yes, it was very artsy. Like the one scene that
You can't
showed
put Cronenberg and artsy together.
no, you can't do that. Well, you could. It's a different form of art though.
Yeah, it's together.
But when you think about like pain, especially with like a morph type of thing where you're like forming into something. As you mentioned, bones will crack, spines will move. Things are gonna get a little weird. I mean, though the scene in the bathroom when which is, I mean, they went to town. Honestly, I think they were truly fucking. Like, I'm pretty sure they were, because
I was gonna say they are married.
they're married. It wouldn't be a big deal. They could easily do it. I mean, I'd love to know how many takes it took. But the one scene, like when he's trying to come out, he's trying to pull out, and you see like the pull, like
Oh,
that
dude,
moment, I
"Ooh,
was like,
he's gonna
oh,
lose it."
like, ouch, like that hurts. Like that's one of those, yeah, ow, dude. I understand. That's painful.
I totally thought it was gonna rip off in her, and it would have been the first, like, huge hurdle
That'd have been
like,
hilarious.
gore for them. I thought for sure it was gonna be like, "Holy crap,
That'd have been
it's
fucking
just
hilarious.
in there, and it's not coming out."
I will.
And then this whole thing after.
I will say this though. Like, okay, so when it comes to it's not a gory movie. Could people get like a little weird, like maybe give you the heebie-jeebie moments? Maybe, maybe sometimes. The scene when they're in separate rooms and then in the hallway I like that scene. I think that scene is badass. Like when not with him, he's fine. I mean, Dave Franco acted his ass off at that moment when the door opens and she's like exorcist type of shit.
Oh,
Like his face, I give the guy credit. He's mostly doing comedy. Lately, he has been touching a lot of drama as well. He's showing his range. His face of like fucking, oh my God, what's happening? And then, they come together and she's entered, the bones are cracking and she doesn't know what's going on. And then that was good. You were like, oh, this is getting really good. And then the hand, and it's all it needed was just their hands to touch. And then it just started to form from there. But yes, we don't really get gore in this movie like that. Besides
we'll talk about
showing
that
Dave
too.
Franco's wiener.
I mean, there's a little more gore than that.
A little bit, not too much. I guess the most
Yeah.
goriest thing I seen was the slice of the wrist, which was a dope scene because I didn't think that was gonna come. Then he goes, and you're like, oh, that's gross.
But you definitely mentioned my favorite scene, Tommy, so I definitely wanna talk about it a little bit. The scene in the hallway,
Okay,
especially because there's so many elements to it.
there's a
It's
lot.
horror, and then it's hilarious, and
Yes.
then it's, horror again, and I feel like that was the pinnacle part of the movie where I'm like, "Ooh, this is gonna be great again." Because at this point, I'm following the story, and I'm like, "This is gonna get great. This is the moment." And then that's where it kind of waned down for me afterwards, but specifically in the hallway, his acting is on pour where he's screaming, saying like, "Millie, wake up, Millie, like, wake up." And you see her, like, exorcist roll, and you hear the bones cracking, and when
Mhm.
they join hands, you see that pain of them merging and them trying to fight it. And I do think, like, that's another metaphor for relationships is if you try to fight something, it's gonna hurt both of you versus, if you accept it, it's just, it's a clean break, it's beautiful, but it's that scene specifically where I'm like, "That's the body horror I want." You hear the bones cracking, you hear, like, the pain that they're in, and then it smash cuts to the funniest fucking scene I've ever seen where they're snorting drugs off the floor.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Oh my god, the minute he's just like, "It's faster if you snort it." He crushes it up and snorts it, and you just see, like, the close up of him, his nose just snorting a line. I was fucking dying in this theater, you
I'm not gonna
guys.
lie. I'm not gonna lie. They did it way too well.
Oh my god.
I
At that
mean,
point, I'm just like, I mean, they live out there. They're part of the
you
industry. They
know,
probably know what they're doing, but I'm just like, "Holy shit, this is so fucking funny." After watching a true horror scene unfold in front of me to smash cutting to snorting drugs off the floor. So fucking funny, you guys. And then we just go to the scene of them in the kitchen where she's like, "Oh, I was hoping to do this before you woke up," and you just see, like, the electric saw next to her, and I'm just like, "Oh, shit, this is amazing." I feel like that whole bit of the movie is what sold me on it,
mhm.
and that's what I was anticipating, and then it shuts itself down.
And you excuse at the beginning and in the middle
Yes.
because it sold you already in the art house aspect of itself.
Yes.
So you're going, okay, they're not going to be showing all the horror immediately and the gore because it makes sense. They're artsy. They want to build it up and use it correctly, and you're and you're excusing the film for not following up on the body horror thing.
Right.
But then they never do it, and then you go like, "I excuse you for a little bit there, buddy, but you never made it."
Yeah.
And that's exactly why I was disappointed.
I will say I feel that the merging scene at the end could have been done better. Not in the sense of and I'll say not in the sense of like the gore and maybe more bones cracking, because my biggest thing was, why are they not fucking? Like, if we're gonna merge, this is gonna be the last time. This is gonna be the last time we are two. We will become one. And if I'm gonna become one, we're gonna become one. And then it makes sense because they can make, you don't gotta fuck, you can make love. You can put the Spice Girls on and make some love. And I think that would have been kind of crazy. Like, as they're literally just making love, they start to just kind of warm into each other. And like, that would also be more of that relationship, love, being one
To
with
admit.
one another, right?
was
Right,
gonna say
yes.
just
Like you say, yes, yes, it comes together, literally. And maybe before, he, before he completely merges, maybe he ejaculates and you get one more, and you're like, very nice. Still
get
comedy.
it just as they merge.
Yeah, still a comedy. Like, you're like, still a comedy. Very good.
I feel like for that type of loving though, it can't be Spice Girls. It's got to be like Boys to Men.
Oh, I don't think I don't think we should do that. No, I'm not okay with that. I wouldn't be okay with fucking, oh, make love to you. Like, no, damn it.
I didn't say it had to be that Boys. to Men.
Which one was it going to be?
Could be Luther Vandross.
It could be.
Dancing with My Father. Turns out he had the wrong record.
Oh no. He goes, sorry, that was my I burned that record.
Yeah, like I got rid of that one.
Folded it myself.
It was gonna be Never Too Much, but unfortunately it just starts playing. She's like, isn't this Dancing with My Father? Just go with it. Just go with it.
He just goes
Yeah. Shh, with the hand
he does
on
this,
the
like and his finger just merges into her
it
face.
he just pushes it and is like, whoa. Yeah, they could have had
A blast.
they could have had a blast with this weird, just stupid, because it's a weird, stupid kind of concept. But I did enjoy it. I thought both of them just did a phenomenal job. And it makes sense. The chemistry obviously is there. They're married, so that makes perfect sense. Is it now? Here's the main thing as we're coming towards the end here before we get into our segments. What as we normally do, would we give it a second round? Would we watch this movie again, or is this just a one and done? Do we recommend this movie to people? I'll actually go first because I'm gonna say. Now, I have obviously given it a second round because I've seen it twice, but I don't see myself coming back to this movie. I don't see myself going, you know what? We need to watch together. No, it'd be one of those, like, maybe in like 10 years from now, I'm like, I haven't seen that in a bit. Let me go watch that again. I really liked Dave Franco and Alison Brie in it. If somebody mentions to me how they're a big fan of Alison Brie, like, oh, I loved Alison Brie in, Community, and I really like Dave Franco. You should watch together because they're in it and they're great in it. But like I said, would I give it a second round? I'm going to give it a no on that one because I think it's one of those, I think it's a perfect one and done kind of movie. You get in, you get out. You're like, you know what? Some may not like it. Some may, like myself, may say, I thought it was awesome. I thought it was a great movie. But would I revisit this movie within the next 5 years? No. I think there are better movies for me to watch, in my personal opinion. Sabrina, how do you feel about that?
So based on what we've talked about on this podcast and exactly what you guys have said to your points of looking at it through a different lens, I feel like I need to give it a second round. But personally, I would not. I feel like it falls flat at the end, and it's one of those movies where I'm just like, yeah, I've already seen it. I don't really need to see it again. It probably won't hold up, even in 5, 10 years time. I'd probably watch it and
Sure.
be like, yeah, it's still fine. It just, it doesn't wow me. It's not one of those movies where I would recommend it to anybody. Now, if somebody said they were a fan of both of these people and they want to see it, I'd say, yeah, I mean, give it a shot. If you're a fan of them, I'm a fan of both of them, and I was still disappointed by this movie, not by their acting. Their acting is sublime for me, but that is the reason why I gave it the rating that it was versus the story itself. Because again, it's mixed emotions here. But yeah, definitely not a second round, and I wouldn't really recommend it to anybody.
All right. So that's 2 for 2. Big money. What you got on this one?
So, I think that when we're looking at a movie like this, like there are movies that require different levels of conversation, right? Um, did this film reinvent the body horror genre? I think it did. In the sense of, and let me explain what I mean by that. It turned body horror into a venue for drama,
Yeah.
and I didn't think that was possible to do. Now, unfortunately, I also think that the film doesn't live up completely to the idea of body horror. Having said that, I think it was a great movie overall. I enjoyed it for what it was. So, if I'm just talking about for me in my canon of films, I would not watch this movie again. So I would just one and done deal. If I'm talking about great Dave Franco performances or Alison Brie performances, if I'm going talking about people about that, I would definitely talk about this movie. And if I'm discussing seriously body horror, I would bring this movie up as a how body horror can be used in a different way. Uh, so in those scenarios, it would get another viewing.
Sure.
It would get another recommendation, but I would recommend people watch it once, and I don't think you're gonna need to watch it again ever.
Yeah.
Solid.
That's very fair. And I actually I agree as well with that. Like that with the statement of the concept of saying if it's brought up with like body horror, if somebody mentions, what are the top 5 body horror movies you've seen? This may be number 5. I haven't gone through my list yet, but this may be a number 5. If it's top 10, it's definitely in top 10. I'll definitely put it in top 10. If you mention best Dave Franco, performances, this is gonna get mentioned because
Oh,
he
yeah.
was phenomenal in this. So yeah, that's actually a really good way to put it, and I have to agree. But
I like that Eddie
one and done.
specifically. I like how you said it reinvents the wheel for body horror because
Mhm.
it turns it into a drama. I didn't even consider that, and yeah, it does. At first, when you said it, I was like, "Wait, elaborate," and you did so beautifully of saying like it does. It turned it into a drama, which we didn't think they could do when they
That's right.
absolutely did. So yeah, nothing wrong with
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. Great way to put it in. I have to agree. Um, all right. Well, at this point, usually we like to get into a good old fashioned therapy session. But for the listeners out there, your therapy sessions have now been moved. Oh, yes, we have changed our office. It has now been moved over to our social media pages. So you will be getting your therapy sessions from now on the social media page from TikTok or Instagram. And they will be coming from different films that either we don't review on here, or if people want to hear my thoughts on specific movies that I just walked out of, you will find your therapy sessions there. But that doesn't mean the segments are going away because, you know, what happens when I watch films or sometimes when somebody tells me about a movie before I go see the fucking movie, I get this irk and this feeling inside. And what I do is I put them on my list.
Just made the list. The movie therapist will see you now. Just made the loot, just made the list. Wanna make this list? Just made the loot, just made the list.
That's right. It's a brand new segment from me, Mr. Oh So Smooth himself, going back in the day to bring you, indeed, the list. And what does it mean to be on the list? Well, I could tell you. I could tell you what it means to be on the list, but you just wouldn't understand. And let's just say it's not something that you want to do. Not something that you want to be on, and anybody could make my list. And trust me, again, you won't understand, but you don't want to make it. So when it comes to the movie Together, I had to sit for a minute. I had to think to myself, because again, I did really enjoy this film. And I wondered, I'm like, what in the world would make the list? What irked me about this movie? Could it be the gore that they claimed it was? Not really. Could it be the fact that the principal was two dudes in one? I mean, it could, but it wasn't. No, honestly, let me get my pen out here and my clip book. It is a book, but my clipboard. Today, first time ever, Night School Horror, first to ever make the list, is Man vs. Wild. Man, I gotta be honest with you. Without Man vs. Wild, this would have never happened. Dave Franco says it in the movie. Man vs. Wild, babe. No, sir. No. Absolutely. First, close my damn clipboard. Let me explain something to you. Man vs. Wild is, yes, it is a television show. That man is a trained guy. He understands the elements that he is in. You don't just drink water out of a random fucking hole that looks like, as we mentioned, that Vecna is probably in there from the upside down. Why would you ever drink from a fucking hole in a really creepy place where he makes the joke of a cult? Sir! So you could say, well, Tom, why wouldn't you put Dave Franco on the list? Because without Man vs. Wild, this would never happen. He would use his brain, or Alison Brie would say, well, you probably shouldn't drink that. You don't know what's in there. There's probably parasites, bacteria. Nope. Man vs. Wild, babe. In that case, take a piss and fucking drink your own urine. But no, he did not. Honestly, watch Survivor, sir. Stop watching Man vs. Wild. Jeff Probst will teach you better. So, get back out, open up my book real quick. First person, well, technically it's not a person, but the first thing that's going on my list is indeed, and I'm writing it right now. They could see me doing this. Man vs. Wild. You just made the list. Wait till I find out more. But yeah, Man vs. Wild goes to the list because without it, Dave Franco would have never drank from a random hole in the water, in a random hole in a fucking, I don't even know, where were they? In the woods?
It was a butthole. It was a butthole.
It was a
It
butthole.
was straight up a sphincter.
It was a sphincter it was Vecna's sphincter. Okay? And it's all because of Man vs. Wild. So Man vs. Wild, again, you just made the list. Jesus Christ. Fucking Man vs. Wild. I've never watched that show. You guys ever watch Man vs. Wild?
Hell no. Do I look like somebody who watched Man vs. Wild?
Yeah.
Do I? I
No.
like
No, I can't see you watching Man. I watch Survivor, but I would never watch Man vs. Wild. That's like Naked and Afraid. Like, why the fuck am I going to watch Naked and Afraid?
Especially if it's blurred. Like, I need to see
I don't think it's blurred. I've never watched it. It is blurred? Oh, so you watched it.
Yeah, I watched the first episode because I was like, "Ooh, this will be good," and then it wasn't.
It wasn't good.
Never mind.
Well,
they have a new season that now is like horror themed. It's like an apocalypse sort of thing.
Really? For the
naked
naked one?
Naked in a zombie apocalypse. It's just 28 years later.
Yeah, so something like that. And
is there zombies in it?
I'm interested in watching it just to see how the horror premise unfolds.
Oh my god!
So
now I want to watch it.
And that's the
Paranormal
only time
activity, but you're nude.
So nothing happens.
Oh,
a cup knocks over in the kitchen while you're in the shower.
Oh, well, that sounds right. That sounds so scary. Yeah. Honestly, I've heard people that have watched this Naked and Afraid thing and they praise it and they say how interesting it is and whatnot. But I'm sorry. No.
Those people also probably don't watch Survivor, so they don't know which one's superior.
Yeah. Survivor is the shit. I've always loved Survivor. My Helen Taylor. No, it's about to hit 50. They're literally going to be hitting 50. So excitement runs wild. But okay, so all right, we somebody is now for the first time ever has made the list. Indeed, it was a television show. But the one thing about this movie that maybe we may not feel it that well, but there are many things that we can take away and kind of find this creep value of it and put it in the corner.
The corner. You never leave. You never see me. Creep corner.
Imagine you're in a new environment. You've just moved out to the bare wilderness. You don't know anything that's around you other than your loving girlfriend, doting even. It feels almost suffocating. You're trying to gain some semblance of normalcy, but nothing seems to be working. You guys just took a trip into the woods, got trapped in a hole. Things don't seem right after that. But as you're trying to gain some sense of normalcy, and you're on your computer, just trying to communicate with your friends back home, feel some sort of connection, really dig deep into your roots, creatively, you think. Just as you're doing research on what may or may not have happened to another couple, just like you, in a remote area, you feel something behind you. You feel something creeping. When you turn, a head smashes through the glass and attempts to knock into the door. The doors rattle, and you see your girl just having a full-on seizure off the floor until she falls on top of you, almost seeming like 10 pounds. And I gotta throw Millie in the creep corner because this is a scene we did not talk about, but it genuinely gave me the creeps the entire time. It wasn't horror-based for me as far as it being like a whole scene, but seeing Millie just up against the glass door, shaking, and it pans to her feet off the floor, I thought, holy shit, what the fuck? And I wasn't expecting it because it was a quiet scene to begin with. And it genuinely gave me the creeps of like, ew, no, why? Okay. It took me by surprise. It was a jump scare I wasn't expecting, especially in a body horror movie. So I gotta put Millie in the creep corner for just being an absolute fucking creep because afterwards she goes, what? No, I didn't do that. Nothing happened. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe it was a seizure. And it's like, you can't fucking deny, bitch. You were floating.
She was floating.
You were floating.
Yes.
So Millie goes in my creep corner.
That's fair.
I had a dump that went like that, just like that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but I can't go into detail.
No.
No,
Too much body
that's
horror.
I was going to say, that's actual body horror, sir. You calmed out of it. You're going to put together to shame.
Yeah, it's gonna top together. Oh, oh man, that's great.
As long as it
Well,
doesn't bottom it, it's fine.
oh, there's a lot going on right now. Well, you know what? We'll put Millie in the creep corner. Sabrina, I have to agree. That makes, and yes, we didn't talk about that scene, but that is a very creepy scene. And she was floating. I don't give a shit. She was like fucking Pennywise all day. They all float down here, Georgie.
The fact
You know.
that she just denied it too just made him seem like all the more creeped out by it. And it's like, yeah, I fucking would too. If I
Well,
was in
yeah.
her position, my partner was floating and then like falls on me and just feels like she's having a seizure. And she just goes, no, I'm fine. Everything's fine. It's like, girl, go
It's
get
just
some help.
I'm just
Go see a doctor.
just telling you,
Like, nope,
you're not
I'm
doing too hot right now.
Yeah, the denial is what makes it.
not doing too hot right now.
Yeah.
Man, no, yeah, but a very good scene in the movie, 1,000%. But like you said, very creepy and deserves to be in the corner. And after we go stick something in the corner, it creeps us out. There's only one way to finish strong. They always say, if you're gonna finish strong. And as we've seen, Dave Franco, he finished strong.
I wish he did.
He got stuck at one point too. But if you're going to finish strong and you're going to learn everybody here knows. You need to learn a lesson from the cigarette smoking man.
Mijo, listen close. Aquí está la verdad. If your house says get out, don't be living with that. Dancing with demons. Pero con ritmo. Eddie drops wisdom with every humor. Lessons from a cigarette smoking man.
Hey, kid. Let's light up. Rule number 1 of being a teacher: no kinky stuff in school. Obviously, never, ever with a minor, but also don't blink a coworker or a significant other in school. You might end up being discovered by a coworker, or worse, a kid, and say bye-bye to your license. I once knew a teacher who took a naked selfie in the classroom to send it to his boyfriend. Months after they broke up, that petty bitch of an ex reported the teacher and he got fired. Again, no minors or anything creepy. The guy lost everything for being kinky. You want to get nuts? Then get nuts outside school, 30 miles away from school if possible. Don't get married to a musician who barely gets any gigs. They're not pursuing a career, they're pursuing a hobby. An androgynous person in Greek myth had great powers and wisdom than the average person. So, this secret cult society has accessed this incredible mythic power. Why aren't they conquering the world? Granted, the only example was the united gay teacher. But here's the catch: he might be united, but he isn't androgynous. That requires both sexes to achieve that level of completeness. So maybe Tim Milley will unlock those special powers, because it sure seems like poor old Jamie got suckered into thinking he would achieve that, but he didn't. He ended up being a teacher, a principal, maybe. Perhaps the sequel will show the new Tim Milley person make spectacular music and teach deaf people to play music. Who knows in this sequel begging Hollywood machine? Secret cults with magic springs should do well in keeping their juju water away from the public. If somebody stumbles upon their butthole wellspring, they are bound to tell the public, and boom, no more secret cult. Love is infectious. It's an infectious thing, ain't it? It makes people do crazy things. It's the foundation of our entire society, according to Abrahamic religions. Love truly is powerful, as we see in the androgynous myth, is an explanation for the act of lovemaking and how we're attracted to a person. More so when we understand that love is not a feeling, rather, it's a conscientious decision to abide in another person. Just make sure that when you attend a Coldplay concert, you go with the right person. Finally, given the no win scenario placed on Tim and Millie, I agree with their decision to join in such a sexy and grotesque fashion. But I truly question their decision to make the single most important decision of their lives with the Spice Girls as their background. Even if it's two become one, it's the friggin' Spice Girls. You're a musician, Tim. Come on, couldn't you pick a better song? Here's a top 10 list of songs we could have had for this moment. Number 10, One by U2. Number 9, All of Me by John Legend. Number 8, From This Moment On by Shania Twain. Number 7, When You Say Nothing at All by Alison Krauss and Ronan Keating. Number 6, After All by Cher. Number 5, Only You by Yazoo. Number 4, Something by the Beatles. Number 3, Endless Love by Lionel Richie and Diana Ross. Number 2, Let's Stay Together by Al Green. And at number 1, I Touch Myself by the Divinals. Play me out, Tommy. And until next time, here's looking at you, kid.
Yes!
Well,
Yes! Absolutely. That would have fucking been great. Absolutely. Hell yes. All those songs, yes, but the Divinals touch, yes, I touch myself, absolutely. Someone needs to put that song while that scene's occurring.
Yes.
Fantastic.
putting that in there actually gives me more questions than I wish I didn't have, I guess.
I love it.
Yeah.
That is 1,000% fan-fucking-tastic, and honestly, a perfect way to end this episode. So it is time to say goodbye. It is time to say sayonara, and we'll be back. Actually, me and Big Money, we will be back on the next episode as we review Alien Earth. The first 2 episodes drop on Tuesday, so you will be getting episode by episode. The first one we're doing is going to be both, of course, because they're dropping at the same time, but it will be me and Big Money giving you the Alien Earth review. So very excited about that. And then when it the actual series, Welcome to Derry, is going to be Sabrina and Eddie doing that one. So that's going to be great. And same thing, it'll be based on each episode that's dropped. It'll have its own separate episode, unless they drop 2 at once. So yeah, let's say goodbye. We'll start with Florida's favorite creep, Sabrina.
All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed Together just as much as we did and didn't. As far as everything goes, don't forget to be good to each other, much like you should every single day, because you never know who you're going to merge with later on in life. Just don't get stuck. But anyways, if you guys catch me on socials, I'm going to go hang out at Dark Universe tomorrow, so I'll have to let everybody know how that is. But I'm going to go see some creeps of my very own. So peace out, catch Florida's favorite creep later, and stay creepy.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I'm very excited to see some of that. You should post it on our TikTok page so people can see other faces than just me. But yeah, that would be great. And I hope you have a good time there. I'm excited to eventually go myself, which, by the way, August 31st, I'm going to Halloween Horror Nights. And of course, you'll get some coverage from there. Big Money, Grand Wizard of Horror, cigarette smoking man. Say your goodbyes.
So, everybody, Big Money Eddie, Grand Wizard of Horror, and the cigarette smoking man signing off and reminding you that if you're going to boink, if you want to fuck, if you want to merge, if you want to be with somebody and be together with that person, never fucking do it in school. Just a reminder, please. And especially if you're a teacher, just word of wisdom. If you take anything from this movie, don't fucking do that in the school. Just saying. Uh, Pleasure, everybody. Be seeing you in that Alien review. It's gonna be great. I'm excited for that. So catch you then.
Yes, yes, yes. Big Money, I agree. I'm very excited for some Alien Earth as well. It comes out on Tuesday. We'll be able to talk about it on our next episode. And of course, my name is Tommy James, aka the Movie Guy, baby, your favorite movie therapist. And now the keeper of the list. You don't want to make my list. And again, I enjoyed the movie Together. I'm going to go listen to I Touch Myself by the Divinals now, because how could I not? See you guys next time.